You putting the theme tune on?
No, mate. Boom Chenka, how's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on the Pig in the Hen with Henry Hotspur, just to jump on and talk about the breaking news. Obviously, it's a couple of hours old anyway, that Unai Emery has been officially sacked as Arsenal boss. Are any of us surprised? I'm not overly surprised. He's been doing a bit of a piss-poor job, to be fair. So they've finally swung the axe. There you go. I'm here with Henry just to have a little chat and discuss it for a bit. Henry, what do you think, mate? I mean,
Well, first things foremost. Okay, obviously we're gonna crack on with the important news that everybody wants to listen to, but no theme tune. It's me and the pig. This is like a bonus Pig in the Hen show. Bottom line, this is the first live show for a couple of weeks now. No theme tune. No proper introduction. Come on, Pig, sort it out.
This is more of a breaking news bulletin type thing, mate. It's going to have to be a short one anyway, so it's not a full Pig in the Hen show.
Everybody knows the breaking news.
But they want to hear our thoughts on it, Hotspur, don't they?
If they're listening to me and you, it's because they want to hear our thoughts. But, I mean, surely they want to hear what we're up to first.
Maybe secondary.
And if not,
I would have thought secondarily. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
but anyway,
let's just talk about Unai Emery first, and then I'll tell you about the night I've had.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
That sounds good, my friend. Absolutely. But it seems like
sounds
having
like
a good time there anyway.
Me.
But yeah, Unai Emery sacked by Arsenal. He's no longer their manager. I mean, let's be realistic now. If you look at their form, if you look at their recent results, I think the final nail in the coffin, no pun intended, because he does seem like a Dracula-looking mofo. The final nail in the coffin was absolutely losing to Frankfurt last night 2-1. Shocking result for them. They've been on a shocking run, terrible run of form. I think it's actually the worst run that they've been on since 1992, I believe, and it's actually a worse set of fixtures and results than Arsene Wenger managed in his whole time as manager of Arsenal. So
you must have literally just looked that up, Pig, because you couldn't give a fuck about Arsenal.
I just seen it on the major breaking news on Sky Sports. Yeah, some interesting stats there. No worst run of form since 1992, and Arsene Wenger never did as bad in terms of a run of form. Well, that goes to show everything, mate. He's just been having a bit of a nightmare, unfortunately. Defensively frail.
For sure.
The signings that he made as well, like Pepe and Tierney and David Luiz, unfortunately they just haven't worked out. Those players haven't really been any positive for Arsenal this season. And when you're spending big money on players, I think they spent like 130 or maybe even more million on players in the summer transfer window, which is a bit uncharacteristic for Arsenal. When you're doing that, you've got to get some sort of results from it. And whether it's Unai Emery's management of these players or just these players coming in and not doing well, it's just not worked out at all for them at Arsenal. And that's basically cost Emery his job, really. The style of football, the defensive frailties, it's just a nightmare. They've got a decent squad there as well, that's the thing.
I agree with the sacking. I don't agree with the timing. Not in terms of the timing and in terms of they need to be getting rid of him right now, because they probably should be. But getting rid of him on a Friday when they've got a game on Sunday seems very strange to me. Very strange. I know that I've read that Lundberg's ready to step in. He's going to be caretaker manager, whatever it is. I mean, before I read the fact that Lundberg was going to be stepping in, the idea played through my mind. I was thinking, no, Poch must be in there. Pochettino must be in there, or they must have a big name to sack him on a Friday. What a strange time to sack a manager. I mean, it's taken me, off guard, because bottom line, when it comes to the weekend for me, I'm thinking, right, the games are ready. We're not going to have any big news, in the football arena. And I could lay back, I could go out, I could drink more than I usually do, and I can, see some friends out here, play a bit of poker, etc. You're lucky, because I've been knocked out of a 12-man poker game. Sorry, I shouldn't say man, because there are a few ladies involved. In fact, a lady knocked me out this evening, and I am pissed off. Okay? But lucky for you guys that are listening, and you lasses that are listening out there, because I'm here and I'm available to talk about this sacking. But the timing is very strange, Pig. It is for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a final straw, that result last night, because that game was last night. Obviously, they've lost 2-1 to Frankfurt. They've just gone, no, do one, Emery. Enough is enough, and they've driven that wooden stake through the vampire's heart, mate, and they've got rid of the man. I think that's the only reason it's happened, really. And the fact that they just don't want him in charge of any more games. So coming up at the weekend, they've got Lundberg in charge, obviously. Don't really know much about his managerial chops, Freddie Ljungberg, but obviously he was a great player and a big icon at Arsenal, so he's just a temporary man. It depends what their plan is,
But
like you say.
they're hoping he's going to come in and do a Lampard, aren't they? That's what they're hoping for.
Well, yeah, or even do an Ollie, just temporarily, like a good interim manager's job. Like he did do a good job when he first came in. Just somebody to steady the ship, revitalise the players, give them a boost, change of personnel. I think maybe the players at Arsenal were not too happy with Unai Emery's tactics. It seemed like they just didn't really know what their roles were when they were playing. They're all over the shop. So I don't think that he was getting the best out of those players. I think the players will probably be quite happy with a change of manager. Is Ljungberg the man to go on and do it long term? No.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying there, Pig. But do you not think that the timing is very suspect and very strange?
I think it's quite strange when you consider that they, like you say, they haven't got a manager full term to come in and step in and just do the job
Well, so they say.
Well, so they say, yeah, we might see an announcement very, very soon. Maybe Ljungberg's literally just going to be taking charge for a game or two. But which sort of leads me on to talking about who could potentially take over. Pochettino is obviously one of the major favourites. Allegri's one of the favourites. Mikel Arteta, I'm hearing some stuff about. So there are a bunch of players, a bunch of coaches that are in the line for the job. Who do Arsenal fans want? I'd love to hear. I can see Alex Rudd commenting in the comment section. We're going to go into that a little bit later. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. If there's any
love to know what Rudd thinks. Love to know what Rudd thinks. I mean, if you read the Daily Mail report yet?
No, mate.
No, I mean they had a deal in place for Mourinho, okay, and do you know what? Spurs beat them to it, and I'm starting to think now that they part of the reason that maybe Tottenham got Jose in as manager might have been the fact that they knew Arsenal were about to jump ship. That could be it, and just the fact that Arsenal are obviously our nemesis. And Daniel Levy's there. He sat there on his Daniel levers, and I've gone on about these levers before. And he sat there and he's ready to pull the lever, and he's thinking, Arsenal are there. Arsenal have got a deal in place for Jose Mourinho. Am I happy with Poch right now? Well, he hasn't been losing so many games. He's done well, but we're talking about a top manager that's available that might just be going to the other North London club. And at that moment, I think Levy's made the decision. I could not live with myself if I allowed Arsenal to get Jose in and they started doing phenomenally well.
I think you're absolutely right, yeah.
Is what's happened. And the fact that they've sacked Unai Emery anyway. Who are the mugs here? Who are the mugs? It's Arsenal.
True. I mean, they're either going to end up with Spurs' cast off. Do you know what I mean? Or I don't know. Allegri does obviously have a lot of good history and reputation, leading Juventus to titles and that sort of thing. So he would be a good shout. I don't know. Anybody's got to be better than Emery. To be fair to Emery, though, I sort of feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Plus, I'm going to miss him a little bit. He's almost like this nice sort of like vampire comedy character. Good evening and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Well, they're going to have to say
miss him at all.
Good evening, good afternoon, and freaking goodbye to him now, aren't they?
He's never done anything exciting. You know. Do you know what I mean? There's a multitude of other managers that I think, that is actually an exciting manager. And I respected what Emery done at PSG. He looks the part. He did an okay job there. He's gone to Arsenal, and for me, he's shown his real mettle. He's not a top manager. And this is a problem with top clubs these days. They want the big names, okay? And not every big name is a Jose Mourinho. Not every big name is a Pep Guardiola or a Klopp. And this is the problem. They're looking at a PSG manager thinking, he's a top foreign manager. Do you know what, Arsenal? Start looking at people like Eddie Howe. Start looking at people like Wilder, Sheffield United manager. This is how the Premier League operated a few years ago, where if you're actually a manager that's shown your credentials in some of the lower leagues, you brought your clubs up to the Premier League and you're doing sound as a pound, especially someone like Eddie Howe, that's been there for 4 years, is it? I mean, come on. Is it not time for Eddie Howe to have a serious job? This is what fucks me off. It really, really fucks me off. I mean, it's rich coming from me because Tottenham have just got Jose Mourinho in. But Jose, look at his trophy cabinet. It's Unai Emery is nothing on that. Eddie Howe for me is someone that if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd want a manager like that. If I can't get Jose, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess the
Get
reason
Benitez
Spurs have
in if you need.
gone for Jose is because he does have the track record of winning. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously with Eddie Howe, he's done a great job on a shoestring budget, and nobody can doubt his managerial credentials. But in terms of big club credentials, he just doesn't have them. The only way he's going to get them is to get a job at a big club. So I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, it's still a little bit of a gamble because everyone wants a quick fix these days. That's why these managers are only getting 12 months in the job, 6 months in the job max, and then they're sacked if they have a bit of a bad run. Everyone wants immediate success, and in order to get that, you sort of need. Well, a lot of people think you need to go and get the winners, which is why Arsenal have sacked Emery. Like you said, I don't think Ljungberg's a long-term fix. Obviously, it's just a temporary thing until they appoint somebody. Most likely, it will be Allegri because he does have that reputation. He does have that history of winning things. You know, with Juventus, he got to 2 Champions League finals before he left them. So you know, he's a decent sort of a manager, decent level manager. Whereas Eddie Howe, it could work out if you want to go back to basics and build a squad and do it the right way. Then Eddie Howe's the man to go for, absolutely. But if they want a quick term fix, which is probably what they want this season, you know, they might want to go for one of the big boys. How would you like to see Pochettino over at Arsenal, mate? That's got to be a possibility.
I wouldn't like to see it. I wouldn't like to see it because it would be, yeah. I mean, you know, it's the same as like, you know, I've just left my wife for a fitter bird, and then she gets with my best mate.
I hope your missus doesn't watch this, mate.
Not my best mate, but she gets with my worst enemy.
Oh, that's
I'm already feeling guilty. I'm already feeling guilty because, you know, I shouldn't have left her in the first place. But what I've got now, I'm having the best sex ever, right? but you know, to know that now she's fucking my nemesis, that would be awful. And that, you know, I mean, you know, I can't think of any better analogy than that right now.
It's a good analogy, mate. I'll give you that one. It's a good analogy, yeah. Pochettino, will he be like a woman scorned, mate? I think he'll be wanting to sign for Arsenal just to give the old finger to the Spurs, mate, at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Have some of that, Levy. To the Henry Hotspur.
That's it. Have some of that, Levy. Keep your footballing dinosaur. I'm going to go on and build a legacy and win trophies at Arsenal. It could happen, mate. It could happen. That's what I want to see. I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's tuning in live right now today. Bit of a random pick then. It's not going to be too long. We're not going to be going on for a particularly long time, but we just want to jump on here and talk about the big news, of course. I want to give a shout out to a bunch of people who are tuning in at the start here. Nick Pendragon, Alex Rincon, Junior Red, Illy United, all you usual legends. We've got a super chat from Alex Rudd, which I'll read out. He comments, Pepe will come good under a better manager. So yeah, Arsenal were allowed to spend in the summer transfer window for a change. He was with their big money signing, £80 million or 70 odd million pounds. Not worked out for him. He's looked good at times. I actually agree with you, Alex. I think he will come good. He's been a good quality player. He looks a great prospect. Still young. He's got age on his side. All that good stuff. A new manager coming in could revitalise him. He's been a disappointment since coming over. There's a lot of varying factors for that. So I agree with you, Alex Rudd. Thank you very much for your super chat there, pal, as well. Rudd says lots of managers will go to Arsenal. So yeah, it's like there will be a host of managers queuing up for this job. It is a big club. They're a big name. They've got a decent squad there. It looks like maybe now they're prepared to invest a little bit in that squad too. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Who do you want, Alex? That's what I would like to hear in the.
I was just going to say. I mean, as the number one follower of the show that is an Arsenal fan, is Alex Rudd, and we'd love to know your thoughts there. I mean, has he? I mean, have we asked him that before? I can barely remember now because I drink too much. But
he's commented.
Did he say who he wanted?
Well, he's just commented and said who he wants now, and the answer for him is Pochettino. Or Allegri. He says or Allegri.
Keep your eyes off my missus, Rudd. All right? Do you know what I mean? She's good, but do you know what I mean? Let her go off to Spain. All right?
Nice one, yeah. Gungshi comments, how you doing, Gungshi? Comments, the Hen International Playboy Extraordinaire. You certainly look like you're having a good time over there tonight, mate.
That sounds like a nice thing to say. Well, yeah, I'm enjoying my night. I mean, it's been shit because I've been playing a poker game. I was first out And I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah, I'm not the best poker player in the world, but I'm not terrible. And to go out first was terrible. Is terrible in itself. Having said that, I think it's fate because Unai Emery has just been sacked, and we needed to jump on, didn't we, Pig?
Did you go out with a good hand,
reaction
though?
To this?
Did you go out with a good hand, or did you just go out on a poor bluff or something? Do you know what I mean?
Well, do you want to know what happened?
I want to know, yeah. Okay,
so we have this actually a Chinese girlfriend of one of my friends out here. She's been raising hard tonight. We haven't even seen her hand. People have been folding left, right, and centre because she's bullying the table, and we get some low cards come out on the flop. I hit a 7. I actually had a 6-7 suited clubs. Okay, there's a club out, so I got the gambler's chance of a flush, but it's not likely. But I still got the top pair on the board. She raises 500. I'm sitting on about 1,000 chips, and I'm thinking, well, do you know what? I'm gonna fucking call your bluff here. I had the feeling that she's fucking around at this stage, like she probably has done all night. So I go all in. She calls. I can see her shaking. She's got ace 7, so she's got the same hand as me, but the high kicker. In hindsight, maybe I was a bit brash, but sometimes you just got to go with feeling. The feeling was wrong at the time, and there we go. And yeah, that she cleaned me out right there.
Sometimes you got to go all in, mate. That's it, and that's exactly what Arsenal have done here by sacking the manager on a Friday, as you say. It's an interesting one.
Norwich on Sunday. Away to Norwich on Sunday. Lundberg caretaker. What are they doing? Get a manager lined up. I mean, when I heard the news, I thought they had a manager lined up. I take a quick look, on the mainstream media, and I'm not hearing any big names. All I'm hearing is Lundberg is ready to step in. So that's what they got ready. Honestly, Arsenal, you mugs, just let the game play out. Get a manager lined up. Get Poch in. Get Allegri in. Get someone there that's ready to go, just like Tottenham Hotspur did the other day when it was overnight UK time. Nobody even knows what the fuck's going on. Poch is sacked and Mourinho's in next fucking morning. Do that.
No, I agree. Levy and Spurs, they handled that like a bunch of dons, mate, to be fair. They did a great job of that.
Absolutely.
That whole reveal. They literally released it in the middle of the night, mate. Like just a complete stealth move. Do you know what
exactly.
I mean? They
Whether
ninja'd
you agree
that up.
with
They were
it
talking
or
to Mourinho
not,
for weeks.
It was nasty. I mean, Poch hasn't even come out with a statement saying, thanks to the fans and the years and loved everything. He hasn't even done that. And in some ways, it kind of pisses me off, actually. Regardless of how Poch feels, and I understand how he feels shitted on right now, but I would have liked to have read an article or shat on. Okay, shat on.
Oh, I'm just asking a genuine question there.
Okay, but I would have liked to have seen Poch come out with a statement just thanking the fans for the good years, and that would have meant a lot to me. But the fact that he hasn't done that, I understand he's bitter. I understand that it's tough to take, but I don't get why he hasn't at least just come out with something to the fans. He doesn't have to say anything about the club. At least just something to the fans, because I'm a fan. All I want to hear from Poch is saying, loved you guys, hoped you loved me whilst I was there. Obviously, it hasn't worked out, and all the best in the future. And, I'd be wanking off to that. But he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it.
Mark Sin seems to think otherwise. He said he's done that on Twitter, but...
Has he? He's done it on Twitter. Twitter's not good enough. Twitter's not good enough.
What's he supposed to do? Hold a press conference on his own?
As a man... get in front of the camera to someone.
Do the old Harry Redknapp, do you know what I mean, out the car window.
Exactly. That's what I've been used to. Sure is sure. If Poch wanted to get in front of the camera to make a statement, the media would be lining up. The journalists would be lining up to take that statement, and he should have done it by now.
Fair play. Super chat here from Gungshi. Thank you very much, Gungshi. He's commented, Hen, you're looking very suave tonight, mate.
I don't know why. I look exactly the same as I always do. Is it because you're seeing me in the light?
I think it's because you're lit up, mate.
You can see the suave.
You're lit up and you're glistening, mate. That's what it is.
Well, this is it. This is why I don't get into the limelight of things on the show, because if I did, then it would just, it would make the pig look more ugly.
No, thankfully you do a good job of making me look good, mate. To be fair, do you know what I mean? It's coming on here and a freaking pissed up half the time, sipping out your brown paper bag and that. It's like I'm a bit of a bum, but do you know what I mean? You take it to a whole new level, son. Anyway, I'm just joking around, mate. But look, Alex Rudd, he comments, bantering another banterer. Listen, Arsenal are the biggest banter club of them all, to be fair, aren't they? I mean, this is just classic Arsenal. Appointed the wrong man. He's done the wrong job. He's got the wrong players. They've got the wrong team. They've got the wrong tactics. It's just plain wrong. Like, it's not going well. It's not going well for Arsenal Football Club over the last 5 or 6 years. We're sort of in the same position as United, let's be real.
I could almost imagine Emery saying, but Mourinho went to Spurs. When they're telling him, sorry, Emery, but it's, we're going to call it a day. And he's like, but Jose went to Tottenham. You know what I mean? Because he probably already knew. Come on, he probably had an ear on the fact that, there was dealings with Jose. I would have expected as much.
Yeah.
And the fact that no one has come in. I mean, it's beggars belief. Freddie Ljungberg. I mean, at least Solskjaer, had failed at Cardiff, but at least he's been somewhere and had the opportunity to fail somewhere. I mean, when's Ljungberg ever managed anyone? I mean, he might have done. Maybe
I don't even know anything about his managerial career. Yeah.
Maybe my football knowledge is not good enough, and he's done shit hot with someone, but it's obviously not good enough to get to my ear.
Let us know in the comment section, lads and lasses. Has he managed Malmo in Sweden or something? Let us know. Everybody who's tuning in, also, we're going to hang around for a little bit longer. Just get your thoughts and opinions in about the Arsenal sacking. Do you think it's right? Do you think Emery was doing a poor job? Who do you want to see come in next? We've had Alex Rudd, the biggest Arsenal fan on the channel, who has said that he would like to see Pochettino or Allegri come in. Obviously, they're the two favourites. Me as a neutral, I think it'd be great if Pochettino got straight back into management. Big FU to your North London rivals, do you know what I mean? Join the opposition. They sacked him at the end of the day. If I'm Poch, it's not like he's leaving them to go to Arsenal to pass this new. No, they've sacked him and got rid of him. Screw Spurs, in my opinion. If I'm Poch and that knock comes on the door, I'm answering it. And I'm managing Arsenal. And do you know what? They're in a position where it's like, okay, he's just swapped one for another. It's a big enough club with a good enough squad and enough investment and enough wage expenditure and all that sort of stuff to compete. So
it would be sensational, wouldn't it?
It
would probably be the most sensational manager switch up of Premier League history. I can't think of any other time where it would make bigger news, in fairness.
Yeah, I can't think of many, to be fair. It just doesn't usually happen. Like, the managers managed two big rivals. George Graham actually springs to mind. He actually did it before, didn't he?
But he was shit, wasn't he? It's different.
Well, he was
very different. Come on.
Okay, but he is a manager who managed both Spurs and Arsenal, so it has happened before. It'd be that sort of similar situation, yeah.
Harry Redknapp, Portsmouth, Southampton. But I mean, we're talking, people, clubs that want to finish in the top four, clubs that consider themselves as big clubs, essentially. So for Poch to be at Tottenham for 5 years and get us to our first ever Champions League final, and then to go to Arsenal after being sacked, after we got Jose Mourinho in. I mean, it is stuff of fantasy. It is stuff of fantasy, not even fantasy football. More than that, just absolute pure fucking dreaming fantasy shit.
Comment here from Danny. Thank you very much. Says he's only managed Arsenal youth and been assistant in Wolfsburg. So yeah, in terms of managerial experience, he doesn't have much. But we all know it's just a temporary fix. But it has come out of left field. Like, why Ljungberg? Do you know what I mean? Of all the people, not Vieira.
I know, exactly. I would have stuck with Unai Emery until you had a manager lined up. And do you know what? I'm gonna throw out there. My pick for Arsenal would actually be Eddie Howe. And I'm trying to think from a neutral point of view. I wouldn't get Poch in. I think it's just too sensational. It's too... It wouldn't taste right at all. Not right now. I mean, it would kind of be amazing for the neutral, okay? But if it's not Poch, I think Eddie Howe, out of every manager in the Premier League, deserves his place. I mean, you look at what Eddie Howe's done for Bournemouth. I mean, me and the Pig, people that know me and the Pig, we're local to Bournemouth, okay? We're not Bournemouth fans, but we're certainly in the vicinity. I've seen Bournemouth games at home. So have you, Pig. Yeah, we got a soft spot for Bournemouth, and we both know that Eddie Howe is a fantastic manager. I mean, would you not agree with me there?
100%, yeah. I mean, what he's done, he literally brought Bournemouth up from being minus like 20 points in League Two at the foot of the table starting the season with negative points to where they are now. Okay, he had a little bit of a spell and he left and went to Burnley in between and actually laid the foundation for Burnley to go on and be a stalwart in the Premier League over the last few years. So he laid the foundations there. He went back to Bournemouth. I don't think his family and stuff got on up north. And he went back to Bournemouth and obviously was very successful, got them in the Premier League, kept them there. He's done an amazing job. But is he this...
4 years. 4 years. Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth that we're looking at administration about 10 years ago, was it? Literally.
Yeah, longer than... yeah.
Sitting in league at the bottom of League Two. So, I
Incredible,
mean, I can't think of any other manager that's actually done better than Eddie Howe in terms of going through the leagues, understanding football from the basics right up to the most advanced play. Surely having someone like Eddie Howe that understands the leagues throughout could actually recruit from places like, let's say, League One, let's say the Championship, and he'd have an eye for the better players. I tell you what, I mean, Jose is probably, would not be able to do that in the same way. That's why the top clubs should be looking at people like Eddie Howe, and it really annoys me.
It annoys me too, mate.
I mean, if Tottenham, let's say if Poch, I would have said if Poch started to lose games and we were really looking at relegation properly, and the Mourinho deal hadn't happened, I would have been more than happy with Eddie Howe coming to Tottenham Hotspur. In that scenario all day long, because I respect him as a manager. I'm gonna give him my praises right now. Love Eddie Howe. Great manager.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he gets an opportunity. He deserves it, to be fair, with what he's done. No, there's no British manager that's done better. And the thing is, I saw an interview with Sam Allardyce a couple of days ago, actually, and he was basically saying if my name was Allardycenio or something, then I'd have managed one of the top clubs for all that sort of stuff. That's what he said. Because the British managers, they for whatever reason, if you look at the job Sean Dyche has done over the years, there's a couple of others that have done really, really well. They don't seem to get the big club recognition. Nobody's interested in giving an opportunity to a Brit for some reason, and I don't get that. It's very, very strange.
I think all of these British managers, they should just all go on Depot and just add an INO to the end of their surname. So you have Allardycenio, you've got Eddie Howenio, just for the fuck of it, because it would prove a point. That's not going to get them the job, but the fact that they've done that, I mean, I think that would make a statement, would it not?
Absolutely, yeah. You couldn't just have Enios, though. You'd have to mix it up a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Chris Hutonino.
You'd have to have like Sean Dycherazzi and stuff like that.
Sean Dychenio. No, just go with
just
the
everything
Enios.
Enio.
Because if they're all Enios, Sean Dychenio, Chris Hutonio. You see what I mean? I think Chris Hughton, for me, is a brilliant manager that's always done pretty good with whatever he's come across, and yet he just gets sacked again and again. It's just harsh as fuck, isn't it?
Steve Brucinio. Mark Sin comments, United, Arsenal and Tottenham are all joke clubs. Fair enough. I mean, at the moment, we're not doing a fantastic job. Henry, where have you gone, mate? Are you still there? Oh, God. Classic Henry Hotspur. Yeah, but Mark Sin, they're not... Yeah, I agree. Arsenal, Spurs... We're all freaking melters at the moment. We are not in our best cycle of the club at the moment. Henry, you back?
I'm here. I've always been here.
Oh, okay. Well, it cut out for a little bit there, but anyway, thank you for joining me tonight, Henry. It's been a laugh, mate.
Don't blame me.
I'm not blaming you, mate. I'm just saying there was a disconnection there. We're reconnected now. It's fine.
Definitely blaming me. You're definitely putting the blame on me. I'm not Unai Emery. All right. I've done nothing wrong.
Oh dear. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, we'll leave it there, lads and lasses, but maybe we'll just read a couple more of your comments out, actually. Caleb Madeiros comments, Ollie will be next. Well, it just goes to highlight the fact that it is a manager merry-go-round. Managers don't get very long in the job these days. They've got to do the business or they're going to get sacked. I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be the manager until the end of the season, but let's face it, if he loses the next few games in a row, the pressure's going to be bang on. He's one of the favourites to get the sack. There's others that are more likely to get the sack, I think, in the league at the moment, like Flores and maybe Pellegrini. Pellegrini should actually go and manage them, to be fair, so they can replace one Dracula for another vampire. Do you know what I mean? That would be good.
Pellegrini's past it, mate. He's past it. I mean, I respect what he did, but no, I don't get any feeling from him, in the same way that the players do. I mean, it does come down to the look of a manager, and there's more to it than that. It's, as a player, if I was a top player and Pellegrini comes in, I'm thinking, okay, he won the Premier League with Manchester City, back in 2012. But do I give a fuck? No, I'm probably going to listen to Eddie Howe a lot more. Going to respect Eddie Howe a lot more because I can relate to that guy. And I think that plays.
Your connection's gone again, mate. Anyway, guys, I think we'll pretty much wrap this video up here. We've covered what we wanted to talk about anyway. But, Gungshi, I missed that. He says Arsenal should get the other football vampire, Antonio Conte. So he's definitely on my same wavelength there. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that's tuned into the video tonight. Thanks to Henry for joining me, having a bit of a connection issue at the end here. So we'll just wrap it up there. We pretty much discussed everything we wanted to discuss. Unai Emery's got the sack. He's no longer Arsenal manager. They've put Freddie Ljungberg in charge on a temporary basis until they get the next manager in. I'm wondering if it's going to be Pochettino. That's who I hope it will be. It could be Allegri. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Appreciate everybody for stopping by on the live stream. If we've not responded to you in this video, get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comments, and we will speak to you very, very soon indeed. So thanks for stopping by. You've been watching The Pig and the Hen. I've been the pig. He's been the hen. And we'll see you very, very soon. By the way, whoever came up with the name, the Bacon and Egg Brigade, so yeah, thanks to everybody for tuning in there. That's the end of the show. I had to end it there because the Skype connection went and then you guys couldn't hear me either, I'm pretty sure. So that's the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in. Emery has been sacked. Here's the star patrons. Also, we've got to add Jarvis Cocker to this list. Thank you very much for joining the Patreon page, Jarvis, and becoming a Patreon You Legend. Everybody else, thanks for stopping by. I'm just going to give a few shout-outs at the end here as well. Gungshi, of course, Viking Red, Junior Red, Illy United. Who else is in here? Caleb Medeiros. Loads of you freaking legends. Alex Rudd, Alex Rincon, all the usual heroes. Mark Sin, thanks for stopping by on the channel. We'll see you very, very soon. You've been watching The Flying Pig and Henry Hotspur on Flying Pig United. Take it easy. And come on, United.